Good morning.
Hey, hey. We
Why
are
is this
waking up.
always such a difficult process, right? So how are you this morning, my beautiful Rose?
I am fantastic. I've switched to nightly ice baths now versus morning ice baths. I feel way less rushed in the morning, and my dogs are much happier.
Well, that's good. The thing we wanted to talk about today for everyone and for ourselves are the upcoming trends for online marketing for 2024, because there is a shift that's starting to happen. And we're seeing it
Yes.
across the board for both our searches and our platforms. You yourself have noticed a lot with Instagram, correct?
Yes. Ton of stuff going on Instagram. So, there's a couple creators I follow, and one of them, his predictions for 2023 were basically spot on. And so his predictions for 2024 have been interesting, and I've already seen it in work. So one of the things he said was the 5 to 7 second reels that a lot of new affiliate marketers have been relying on are going away. People are over it. People are tired of the quick whatever videos, and they're more invested in the personal story, the long form. He thinks that Instagram's going to allow longer than a minute and a half videos soon as reels, because that's what people are looking for, is actual long form content that teaches them something or tells them something, versus the quick videos.
Well, and I noticed that TikTok has already done that. They went from the 60 and then they had the 3 minute, and now you can actually do up to a 10-minute video on TikTok. Now, 10 minutes usually is a little high, but 3 minutes is still pretty good. And if you've got more information, going up a little bit further without having to go live, 10-minute video without being able to reach that their live threshold is actually not too bad. It's a good way to put some real content out there, which is nice to see.
And you can easily repurpose that to YouTube as well, which
Absolutely.
is one of the things they brought up, was more of the cross platforming between YouTube and Instagram. Like, how the Instagram, TikTok, and all that are kind of leaning in more to YouTube, and YouTube's still leaning into YouTube Shorts really heavily too.
It's a nice little ecosystem that allows you to really reach out to a lot of different platforms, which is nice to have, because you don't feel quite so trapped in what you're doing. And I mean, and obviously with blogs, with the YouTube, you can literally put your video directly into your blog, which is nice. Yep. So that allows you to sort of, again, cross-platform over into the wordy side of things, which is great.
Because everyone consumes, information differently, right? Some of us like to read it. Some of us need to hear it. Some of us like to watch it. So I think it's really beneficial to be able to capture more of those on one platform. And then
I was going to say, they're also saying that podcasts are starting to do the uptick as well, because of the way that people are consuming their information, because they're always on the go. They want to be able to hear it or see it and not have to really focus down.
I mean, well, especially the people that don't want to deal with adverts, especially because ours goes on YouTube. So you can get rid of adverts for I think $50 a month on YouTube. So I've got a friend who he listens to 2-3 hour long podcasts because he knows he can just put it on and then go about his day, and he doesn't have to worry about it going to the next one or going into adverts all the time. He just listens nonstop. So that's really exciting. It's funny because it seems like everybody has a podcast. So it's kind of funny that now they're getting pushed. But I think it's a sign of where we're at with the digital age as well. Because they also talked about UGC going up. Smaller accounts are actually going to get reached out to more, most likely, from the bigger companies, because they're realizing that, just because someone has 20 million followers doesn't mean that they're actually an influencer.
That was another trend that I saw, and that was micro influencers. We're going to start to be more important to brands and to affiliate marketers, being able to talk to people and saying, hey, can we do something, some collaboration, going more for, from the 1K to 10K, instead of having hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, those people, because they're much more niche oriented. Right. And so, and I thought that's great for both the influencers and for the marketers. So,
Well, and
Yeah,
especially because that kind of smaller account, like you and I, like we both know, we manage our own accounts because if you're not at that millions level, like you can't afford to hire somebody to moderate or to be, acting as you. So it's definitely more personable, and they get more real conversations, which is awesome.
absolutely.
Right? Relationship marketing is what we're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, things like your more personalization, definitely a lot more personalization, um, getting people more about your story, more about who you are, more about just getting people to know and trust you. Um, and it's always about branding, but it's branding of a different kind. It's,
Yeah.
you are your brand versus your company is your brand. And so getting that, putting that, and what your product has done for you specifically, and why, you think it would benefit other people. And so instead of, this is what I've got, it's amazing, everybody says so, it's no, this is why I like it, this is what I've done, this is how I think it could benefit you. A lot more personal in that sense. And I think that that's good. I think that
Yeah.
getting away from the blanket and the bland is actually really helpful. And I think it'll make, even if you're in marketing and you see a ton of marketing on your feed, it's going to become a lot more interesting to actually see,
Yeah.
instead of seeing the same thing over and over and over again.
Well, and the other thing that I read was that all of the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, are cracking down on dollar amounts in your descriptions or on your, across your video, which is good, right? Because we've
Yeah.
all seen I did the $7 video and now I make thousands a month. And it's like, really? All of you were that successful? And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, there aren't those who did succeed with that. I think it's important that they are finally cracking down on that, because I think a lot of the reason that people get disenchanted and angry with affiliate marketing and digital marketing is they're sold all these promises that include a dollar amount, and then it doesn't come true for them in the time frame they want, and then that's when they get frustrated. And that's probably why a lot of the reason that they're cracking down on it, because I had enough people complain about it. But I mean, that's what happens when you have the same people telling marketers the same bad tactics.
Well, yeah, and it's those dollar amounts, like even if it is something that you managed to do, right? Say you got into it and you are just one of those people that understands the sales mechanisms and is just fantastic out there doing that, and you did build your business in 3 months and you're just killing it out there. That's great.
Yeah.
But that is not the reality for a lot of people. And that can be actually disheartening for people, where they see that and they're like, there's no way I could possibly do that. I know myself, I know that there's no way that I'm going to do that. Or they get into it. And of course, like you say, they're really super frustrated because they didn't manage to match that same energy or that same situation. And also, the fact is a lot of people lie.
Yeah.
A lot of people lie. And sometimes through no fault of their own, because they're told to put that out there. Right.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you shouldn't show your wins. Being able to show your wins is kind of nice. But you having dollar amounts constantly, again, it can be very alienating.
Yeah.
It's, at first it was like the woo, oh yeah, amazing, like you can do that. But people have become very savvy. And like I said last time, this isn't 2020, this isn't 2021, where it was all brand new and people were really just starting to find that. They've been around the block now. They've
Yeah.
seen it. And they're just frustrated because they're like, that's just a bunch of bullshit. Which our industry doesn't need that. We have enough trouble getting people to understand that affiliate marketing and digital marketing is a real thing. It's a solid thing. I mean, companies have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a brand new situation. It's something that's been going on forever. It's just becoming more and more popular. And you've always got the people who take it, twist it so that they can do the fly by night and then run out the door. And you get that in almost any industry. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think the other version of that is the people who are like, oh, did you know that Target has a program that'll pay you thousands each week to spend 2 hours reviewing products? Like,
Yeah.
It's a portion of the story versus the whole story. And there's a couple marketers I follow that will, remix it and be like, actually, here's the truth. So I
Yeah.
poked fun at those videos as well in some of my talk to myself videos because, again, they don't give the full information.
Well, and I mean, I understand why they don't, but still, there's snippets, and then there's leaving people wanting more, and then there's just flat out being evasive.
Yeah.
Good morning, Tilda. Thank you for stopping by and watching us. We appreciate your time and energy. I hope you've got your coffee in hand. The other thing that I noticed or that I saw, which I thought was really interesting, and we talked about it a little bit before we came on here, was voice search. Now, people picking up their phone and, it's saying, Google, find me this, or, Siri, find me that, or Alexa, or whatever. But there's more, the number of virtual voice assistants is growing. So there's more and more different versions of that out there now. And people are using that instead of typing it into Google, which means that they're being much more conversational in the way that they're asking their questions, which means that when you do your content, you're going to have to be more conversational in the way that you put your content out there. And your keywords are going to have to be actually more long tail versus short tail. Instead of a single word, it's going to have to be more of a statement. That's just, people are getting away from, the hunt and peck method. And also the search engines themselves are optimizing to be more seeing the whole picture instead of just your words. So you can't just flood it with a bunch of SEO words that you think are going to work now. You have to be a little bit more discerning in how you're going to do those things, which I thought was interesting because, just between 2020 and 2023, it jumped by 400%.
Wow.
The amount of people using voice search, and that's massive. And
Yeah.
they don't see that slowing down. So that's definitely something to think about when you're doing your content, whether it's video or written or auditory. You need to make sure that what you're doing is really keeping that in mind, that people, that's how they're searching now. So that's something that I thought was very interesting.
Nice. Yeah, the shift for that was kind of obvious if you were watching, right? Because like hashtags this year were way less important than SEO. So I think that was expected shift as far as the longer keywords. I think the voice to search is very, very interesting point on it.
Yeah, as we went from like hashtags or everything to keep it down to like some places are like, don't even bother. It's a waste of your time,
Yep.
Which is like, I know that most platforms now, they've been really pushing 3 to 5 is the max. You have like 1 or 2 that are really directly towards whatever it is you're doing. And then more general, more personality, maybe 1 for more personality or who your group is, and not so much what they're trying to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like that too, because nothing I hate more than seeing a post on Instagram or TikTok where there's like 800 freaking hashtags. It's like,
or it's all hashtags. There's not even a description.
I know, like, what's the point?
Right? Yeah. Which I get it. Like spending hours on a description that most people aren't going to read is a little frustrating. Yeah. But it doesn't. You don't have to spend hours. Is the thing. Use ChatGPT to make it sound better, or at least like pre-script it before you even script the video can help. Or you can use the same description over and over again too.
And again, so description for your videos is actually going to become more important because that's where your searches are going to come in. So think about it as you're talking to someone. You've got your video content, and then you're just adding a little extra information, or you're summarizing. You can take your video, get your transcript of your video, throw it into ChatGPT and say, summarize.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And then, so it can make it a lot easier for you. And that was the other thing that we saw that I noticed was that they're talking about is AI integration with content, not AI taking over your content, or AI writing your content or doing your videos for you specifically, but integrating. So just making it better, making it, more concise, tools that you can use to help upgrade your content, but not take over your content. Because I think you said they're actually starting to really crack down on AI only content.
They are, yeah. We've already seen it with Medium, which is where we blog. They're expecting it to happen across Instagram. So Instagram, they're expecting like you need to have better quality video editing, like more transitions, more, versus the just flashy hooks and whatnot. Like people want to see actual video editing skills and stuff like that. But not overly AI. And they're starting to crack down on the AI responses. So like you and I have seen with Facebook, like I made the joke, if you need engagement on your page, just post something about being hacked and watch the bots roll in.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so bad.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to crack down necessarily on AI assisted responses and AI assisted messaging because they have those built into their platform anyway. But they are going to start cracking down on the ones who are maybe overusing it, or not allowing enough time, between, or just spamming, right? We've already seen an uptick in Facebook jail across marketers because they're not necessarily doing stuff incorrectly, but doing a lot of reach out. And I think we're going to continue to see that with Facebook, is Facebook cracking down on like, oh, you message this person and you don't know them, and there's a link in there now, jail.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with, when if people are basically hitting you with a link directly after hello, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest with you, and it's not a permanent ban, right? It's an opportunity for them to learn and grow. And, but that doesn't mean that Facebook hasn't gone like crazy overboard with that, but that's generally how most of these platforms do, right? They start making some changes. They start deciding what's going to be not approved or approved, and they go way over to the other side. And then, everybody's getting banned for like breathing. And then they dial it back and they get it sorted out a bit more. So I think that's where it is right now. Because you shouldn't be banned for reaching out to people. It's a social platform, right? The whole idea is to be social and to reach out to people. And you don't know this person. Well, of course I don't know this person. I'm getting to know this person. Like, chill, dude. But at the same time, I think watching the messaging and making sure that it's not spammy is a good idea.
Yeah. And they've gotten better about putting stuff into spam versus message requests as well.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of like, oh, you're in the same group, but you've never had any interaction. It's obviously spam. And that's where like having, the interaction before you reach out is important, which I think is important because, that person might respond to your comment on their stuff and be like, yeah, I looked at your profile. Don't reach out to me. Or, like they might be snarky right away. So it'll save you time. Really. It takes more time in the beginning stages, but it'll save you a lot of hassle with messaging and hoping.
It also, I don't know, personally, I would feel more comfortable if someone's not, is okay with reaching out to me publicly and talking and responding or whatever. And then they come in, it's like, oh, okay, I recognize your name. I recognize you. We've had a few interactions, but that to me, that's just being intelligent about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I know that a lot of trainings out there just tell you to, slide right into those DMs and hit them hard right off the bat.
100 people a day, blah, blah, blah.
100 people a day is really difficult to do unless you're constantly, on your computer. Or even 50 is hard to do sometimes when you're constantly on your computer. It's definitely a hustle, but I think the hustle is going to change. I feel like that's a big trend for 2024 is the hustle is changing from the wheel to being definitely a lot more personalized and really trying to draw people towards you instead of you chasing them. Because like we've always said, what you offer and who you are just might not be right for everybody. And that's okay. The whole point is to find your tribe, the people that you resonate with and who resonate with you. Because, casting a wide net, it doesn't matter. You just end up with a bunch of toilet lids and old boots. So if you narrow down and you go fishing in the right place, then you're going to have a much better chance to meet and greet your people, your crew.
For sure. Yeah, I still get it on Instagram where they're like, oh, I sent you a DM. And I'm like, that's nice. Like, my account's public. If you want to share my stuff, you can share it. I'm not going to pay you to promote me. No, I don't want $800 allowance a month to be at your beck and call on the internet. Crack me up. I love them. And everyone that's like, oh, I sent you a DM, I just respond. I'm like, that's nice. Like, I'm not gonna go. Like, no, if I don't know you, if we've never talked, I'm not gonna go searching my DM. Don't tell me to check my DMs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know. One of my other profiles, I had a fella who used to say hi to me and like send me pictures of flowers or whatever. Never once friended, just always into like my message requests or my spam or whatever for 2 years straight.
Holy cow.
And I'm like, dude, I've never responded to you. Why are you so insistent? It's like, I appreciate your, I mean, it wasn't like I did. I mean, I put on, I am married. I'm happily content. I have my business. I'm very clear about what I'm doing and everything else. So it's not like I'm pretending or, or hiding or any of those kinds of things about who I am, where I am in my life and what I'm interested in. So,
Oh, so yeah, some people don't care. I was on a live that a fitness influencer I follow and absolutely adore was doing, and I was watching her comment section because I was entertained. And some of the guys that were jumping onto hers, I was just like, wow, like her husband's also an influencer. Like, there's no denying that they're together. Like, and it's very, very open about their relationship. And I was just like, this is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's whether you're a cryptocurrency or some dude just looking for somebody to take advantage of online.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm sorry. I should not slag the crypto people because you know what? They're doing their thing and it's for them, right?
Yeah.
And for me, doesn't mean it's definitely,
Yeah.
But
it's just so easy because so many of them do come across as slimy and spammy when they reach out.
That's my biggest problem. It's not so much that the cryptocurrency, because really, honestly, I've seen people do well in it, and I think it's amazing. It's just a stock market. It's a different kind of stock market in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem is the pushiness. You get a lot of, oh, well, then you really aren't serious, or oh, you really need to do this, and push, and it's like, dude, no, you need to like step off. Like way over there.
Yep.
And that's, because that's my big thing. But I feel the same way about, oh, this is new program or this new, MLM or whatever it is. If you start coming at me with like brute force, I am so not interested in anything that you have to say to me now or ever.
Yeah.
That's the quickest way to drop my interest.
Yeah. Well, and even the hype marketing, right? Like with Russell Brunson's whatever launch he did not too long ago, everyone was like super hyped about it. It was like, oh, share this with your people, blah, blah. And I was like, I haven't seen the product. Like, I'm not sharing it if I don't know what it is, if it's going to be beneficial. Like, all I know of Russell Brunson is ClickFunnels, which I don't use anymore. So,
yeah,
don't care. There are a bunch of marketers who are like, what do you mean you don't care? Like, this is going to be huge. I was like, okay. Like, one of them, I was like, you promote a different thing every day. So I don't know how you're making money. But that's just not me. I've got my core programs that help people, and like I believe in them, and I'm good with those because I've gone through them and I know they work.
Yeah, and like tying back to the trends, that personalization, expertise, the EEAT formula. These things are going to matter simply because you're not going to be able to promote 100 different things. You're not going to be able to bounce because no one's going to trust you, because building that know, like, and trust it's always been important. I think that because we're getting so jaded, that it's becoming more and more important, and really focusing on that moving forward is going to be very important for people in our industry.
Yeah.
When the enterprise companies like Ford and Rolex and whatnot are looking at, they're starting to expand into affiliate marketing and seeing the value of affiliate marketing. It's no longer, the smaller companies or the leggings online kind of thing. This is big, massive, big product companies are moving towards affiliate marketing because they see the value of it. They see the amount of money because it's billions of dollars being generated through affiliate marketing. So they're starting to see the value in that more and more. And it's actually a trend, again, another trend that is picking up.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic really kickstarted the concept and the user generated content, not having to pay people, or, they're still paying salespeople, because that's what we are, right? And with affiliate marketing, you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
But you're a contract salesperson. You're doing it for you. The money you make is for you. It's, whatever. And so with these bigger companies coming on board, it's getting more and more serious, but that means that they're getting much more particular about the type of content that's going out there.
Yeah. I mean, if Breitling wants to send me some product, I will talk about it all day long. I love Breitling. But there are multiple platforms now where you can sign up to be a UGC creator. You can say what your interests are. Then brands can just look at your profile and decide if they want to send stuff too. So again, it saves them money in the long run, because really the price per click, they're only paying for the clicks that sell versus paying, broad advert prices and then maybe seeing a lower return. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and they're reaching people and demographics maybe they never would have reached before.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, advertising has changed. You're no longer billboards, TV, radio, that kind of stuff. That's so old now.
Yeah.
And even TV, we don't have cable. We have like Roku or something. And you can buy ads on that. Like you can actually go and get your ads. So like for your little area, you can do something, and it's way cheaper. Spotify, same thing. You've got your ads in there. YouTube has its ads. But again, you're paying for a possible placement somewhere that might or may not necessarily work. But when you're doing user generated content and they're talking about your product, that you're reaching exactly who you need to reach, right?
Yep.
Definitely more profitable for them in the long run. And it's not like they're going to ditch their regular advertising, but this is just an add-on for them and a way to actually tap into another vein that they didn't necessarily have access to before.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of marketing is research, right? Like, and that's what it is like, hey, we got to keep up with the trends. And that's why they put so much time and energy into market research. And that's why, logos every 10 to 20 years go through a full redesign. They all went from like super bright, complicated logos to very sleek and monotone logos a couple of years back. Kia's redesign on their car logo and a couple others, they're going for the more
nails,
like,
you mean?
exactly. They're going for the more like spacey, futuristic kind of look right now, because that's what people are saying they want. So it just makes sense for the bigger companies to use it when the market research says like, yeah, this is a real industry. This is a real thing.
Yeah, and that's a huge takeaway for everybody who gets into the affiliate marketing or the online marketing. If you've never done it before, research, constantly be researching. Set aside some time at least once a week to research trends or tools or what's going down. Obviously you're going to do your scrolling, you're going to look at what other people are doing and stuff like that, but look beyond that, really deep, do some deep dives. Just pick a topic, pick an area where you need to learn some more information and do that, because this is definitely an industry where you are constantly going to be needing to learn.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you start. If you start off with your $7 course, that's fine. You start there and then you continue to learn. And for every time that you feel like you're getting stuck, you need to start looking at, what am I not learning and where do I need to implement more education or more information? And sometimes you'll be able to do that on your own. And sometimes you might need to find somebody or something else to help you go to that next level. But don't be afraid to step up.
Yeah.
Like, it can get overwhelming, but that's why you make friends in the social media circle, because you're going to find some people where you can just pop in a question and say, hey, you know what? I'm really stuck here. That doesn't mean that you have to buy something. You can say, I'm really stuck here. do you know anything? Maybe they can tell you somebody that can help you, or maybe they can send you to a video that helped them, or whatever. Or maybe they've got some information that they're happy to just impart to you. Because that's what I do, right? Like I mean, I want to help people. My goal is to help people. So, I can't do that if I'm hoarding all my information like some sort of affiliate marketing dragon. Like that doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help anyone. So, to reach out to people and see if maybe they can point you in a direction at the very least. Because you're going to get inundated, but just again, research. I'm a big proponent of research. So
yeah, for sure. Last thing I did want to say about Instagram. So last year, carousels were what was getting a lot of interaction. Their prediction is stories is what's really going to kick up a lot of profiles. So be sure you're posting to stories. And like what I'll usually do is share my reels to my story, but I know some of my reels are long. So it might not hurt to just do like a shortened version of it. And then, just say like, hey, the full version's, in my reels or something like that. The stories are getting more and more popular.
Yeah. And I don't know if it goes from Instagram to Facebook, but I know with Facebook, if you do a story on Facebook, you can have it linked up to your Instagram so that it posts to both of them. So again, cross-platforming, and that doesn't actually hurt you, right?
No.
So
no,
that's fine. Just watch your audio if you're going to do that, because audio is not necessarily the same on both. So I noticed that too, actually, your stories. And the thing about stories is that on your profile, you can create those little highlight bubbles. And so like if you're going to do some stories, you can actually sort of categorize your stories and then pop them into each of your highlights so that when people go, they can actually go back and see those.
Yeah.
Just another tool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I hope that thank you again, Tilda, for hanging out with us today. I hope that this was helpful for people. As always, drop comments. Let us know what you think.
Questions.
Yes, absolutely. Ask questions. Now, the last week's live will be going up. Actually, it should be up now at the Dark Rose Podcast on YouTube. And then this one will pop up there next week. I do them a week behind. I don't know if Rose puts it.
I do
too. So if you're looking to find all the rest of them, I will actually put the link to the podcast. And Rose, you can drop yours as well for the YouTube. So you can either go to hers or go to mine. I don't really care. We love you both. So thank you so much for joining us today, folks. And again, leave a comment or ask a question. Give us an idea of what you prefer. That if you've got something you'd like us to chat about next week, by all means, drop your thoughts. All right. It's been fabulous. Have a great day.
Bye.